Hey everybody, welcome to Alliance War number 2 of the 5th season, and I'm bringing in a classic team for me, back from season 4, I guess. I use these guys a lot. Sentry, Hood, and Vision. I mean, I brought this team a lot. I thought I got a lot of good fights out of them, so let's get right into it. The first node is node number 6, and I continue to see diversity. You should see the spreadsheet I have. It is a list 20-30 champions long of who's going to be on this node. It could be anybody based on your the opponent. They just put whoever. I'm starting to think that it might be worth maybe an ambush on this node or something. But anyway, I'm going up against, with class disadvantage, a Daredevil classic, and for champions like Sentry, or basically only Sentry, where I can collect multiple persistent charges in one fight, this is like the ideal scenario. You know, an unduped, threatless, class disadvantage champion that's going to draw the fight out is going to get me to rack the combo meter up, and I'm going to gain some power along the way. So you can see how much little damage I've done so far. And actually, there's sort of an issue I've been. You guys have probably noticed that I don't have any. I can't see any sort of sound coming out of the game, and I've definitely recorded these with sound. So I'm not sure if anybody has any insights to how the iPhone or iOS recording works, screen recording, because that's what I use. Why am I not getting any sound? I really appreciate that advice. So you can see that I'm getting, I went well past 40, and it looks like I'm getting close to 80, and I'm not sure if I've got that in mind. I think I might already be in damage mode, and I might be missing out on that extra damage by getting that third persistent charge. So I should have maybe just played this out normal and done the extra 10 hits, but it looks like I'm not going to do that. I go for the big hit and finish it on 72, but that's okay. It's good for Sentry, and we're moving on to the next fight, which is on node 33. On node 33, it's it looks like it's going to be I can't see. It looks like I'm boosting first, so I'm going to throw on some boosts. I'm not sure who's going to be on this fight, or on this node. Let me check my notes here. Oh, it looks like it's going to be interesting. Somebody I've never seen before. I'm actually going to come across an Ultron Prime, and I think by Ultron Prime, I'm talking about the classic one, the one that regens, right? So with the Power Lock 1, maybe that's where they were going for. Right now I'm just boosting. I throw on the 20% boost, debating other boosts, but then I think, you know what? Not sure if I need them for this path right here. I've got my power team in, and the last time we played these guys, Omni2, we did okay versus them, and I felt pretty good. So I went back and looked, and even though I think the nodes changed, the fights and everything, there definitely was some. I felt good enough looking back to think, you know what? I think probably just the 20% boost is going to be enough. So want to be conservative on boosts, but I also don't want to die. So that's the line I'm going to be balancing, because I didn't like how I ended last season with like 0 boosts. It really made the off season tricky to process. Is that what like a Freudian slip is called? I read the process on the screen, and then I let the word process slip. Pretty interesting. Anyway. Oh, this fight from Ultron is pretty standard. I can't get to a special 2 to launch that, because there's a power lock special 1. So I was hoping to get the heavy stance, but I didn't get that either. So mostly just playing it out like normal, and Ultron goes down at some point. I think that was kind of cool at one point where Sentry was able to do some extra damage with the special 1, and you could see with the Daredevil as well. I did go through with the special 2 unblockable. So those unblockable specials, they come in handy every once in a while. This next node is Villainy, and it's a mutant champion. And I gotta say that we've seen some, at least in my line chat for the Alliance, there's been some talk about Emma Frost on this node, and would she be good because she'd be constantly in diamond form. I decided to take Sentry in, and I think the answer is not really. Here's the thing. She doesn't gain power either, so this is just a slugfest. If you take this is Sentry at his at pretty weak. He's not doing any special damage, and that's kind of his staple, right? Special attack damage. Luckily, I get the heavy stance, and luckily, her heavy is punishable by my heavy, so that's pretty good. I mean, even without critting, it's pretty significant damage. You can see there, it's not always punishable, and his Sentry Indestructible saved me, which is really good. Pretty happy about that. Somehow I got a power lock on me, which actually healed me a little bit, so that's something. And also, I have to say that losing your combo with Sentry is not the worst idea on this node, because you can just eat that combo and then you can reset to the 20 hits rather than go through the entire cycle. If you, well, let's see, 30, it would go from 30 to 40 and then 40 to 10. Yeah, it is faster to reset your cycle. And look at this, I can just spam heavy on the wall 5 times. So that's some pretty intense damage there, even without the critting. So I'm just slugging away at the wall. At this point, I'm thinking there's pretty much nothing I could do to lose this fight. I could take a couple 5-hit combos and I'd be totally fine. Emma Frost's crit rate doesn't get boosted unless she's gaining prowess charges, and she can't gain any prowess charges without going into telepath form. She could parry me, but yeah, I'm not gonna let her do that, will I? So it's just a slugfest. I missed the second heavy stance. It's not a good look, but yeah, I haven't been super lucky with his stances lately, but whatever. I mean, I can see the timer. I'm at 1 minute and 15. She's only got 15% left. I just entered Assassin's range, so everything just went up by 60% because I've got maxed Assassin, and yeah, it's about to be over. So in my head, I'm already focusing on node 44, which is the Spite node, and I saw that there was a 6-star science champion on there, and I gotta say, I thought it was going to be Void. I really did. I thought it was going to be Void, and so I was really doing some mental preparation for that. Void is a pain in the butt on that node. I really hate him on that node. I struggle to dodge Void Special 1 completely. I tend to block the first part, and that, with the unblockable Special 1, was going to be a really big problem for me. That's why I brought in Vision. I wanted to spam. I didn't want to bring Iceman. I wanted to spam and lower the amount of specials I got, but guess what? It turned out to be a Yellowjacket. Almost zero threat. I'm pretty happy about the Yellowjacket placement. I know that he can trip people up, but because I brought Vision in, the number of specials he was going to be throwing was really going to be low. I think this guy may get 1 special, maybe 2 in during this entire fight. I was able to draw it out really well with the parries. There's no limber, so I've got infinite parries. When there's no limber, it's really it's really hard to justify a death with no limber. So I really feel bad when I die on this path, because there's no limber on this path except for node 33, which doesn't really have anything else either. So, it's not a huge challenge. So this Vision is at Sig 40. So I think this gives a little bit of insight to how what level his signature ability needs to just completely lock down a champion as far as special attacks go. Ideally, you want Sig 200. You want that massive power gain, and it just helps to do more damage. It helps to keep the fight more under control. If you're trying to heal block your opponent, it really is important. But it looks like Sig 40, which is really low for Vision, is enough to lock this guy down. It looks like he might not get even 1 special off this entire fight, which would be pretty crazy. So that's the power level of 455 champion versus another 455 champion, and he doesn't get any specials off, so that's pretty good. And we move on. We move on to node 55, which is an immunity mini boss, and they put a Hyperion on it. I've seen Hyperion here plenty of times, and that's why I brought the hood, and this is going to be super fun. I go in with a boost. Yeah, what do I use? I use a 3-minute boost. I use an indestructible. And the indestructible boost was very, very on purpose. I thought that hood staggers were not going to be just enough, and I'm going to probably eat a special. And if I eat the special 3, most likely I'll eat another one because it converts into more power gain. So I thought if I put this indestructible boost on, I have a very high chance of this being an extremely easy fight. So I did that, and I just don't stress about it at all. I don't, this fight I did need it, but I have had other fights where you can see that I did not need it. So it's up in the air. You really have to, you can play this a little smarter, and you can do it without the indestructible boost. But why bother? I think using the special one a little more, even though they're immune to the shock, it gives you more hits for the crit, and you're more likely to be able to get that stagger off. Also, I think going invisible is not the best move for fighting Hyperions on this node, because I tend to see that champions that you need to bait their specials, champions don't tend to throw their specials when you're invisible. They'll do it and it'll work for you, but I think their chance to throw a special is lowered when you're invisible. It's like a reverse taunt. So that's the first special 3 that I ate. I pushed him to 3 bars on purpose. I didn't even try to bait that out. Dodge this. I actually have some really, really clutch dodges later on in this fight. It's a drawn-out fight. You can see I'm halfway through the timer, and I'm barely over halfway through the kill. I can see he's getting almost to 3 bars of power again, and that happened. And look at this. Oh, I dodged. I used my special to interrupt that, and then I get a nice intercept after going invisible, and then I have to dodge this heavy again, and I do it with a light attack right as he misses me. Just look at all these hits I got in before he threw his special. And so this is special 3 number 2, so I could still take one more. So with him at 23%, I'm feeling pretty good about this, and I get that intercept right there, stand-up intercept from him. I stood up first, and I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh my god, the ball's on me. But this last special 2 should be enough damage. Yeah, there he goes. Man, that thing hits really hard, that special 2 from the hood. Really like the hood still. Can't wait to dupe him one day. I've got 100 signature stones just waiting for him. And that was the war. We won. We beat Omni2. I can't remember our record, our lifetime record with these guys. I think they might have beaten us once, and we beat them. I know we beat them once at least. So we might be like 2-1. I can't remember, but there's a typo there. I spent 0 unit or glory on this war, but the season total is correct. I spent 260 so far this season. We go up to 2-0. I go up to 10-0 kill wise, and 2-0 for the mini bosses. So everything is off to a good start, but we are going up against a super heavy duty team this next war. It's a master alliance, so we have our work cut out for us. It's actually the Scrolls, the alliance that I played in during season 3. So it's cool. It's always cool to play against people you know. Good war to you guys at Omni2. Hope we can meet each other again. Just like we have in the past. Maybe we can have some more wars. I think when you get to like the 28-2900 Alliance War rating, you start to see some of the same opponents over and over again, which is it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. The command matchmaking system every once in a while puts you up against someone who's way out of your league, or maybe you're way out of their league, and that's never fun for either team. But kind of these teams that are up here in the 29-3000 range, 28. It's kind of like a cool little niche to be in. Screw trying to be up at like 3400. That's way too much. But anyway, that'll be it for this one. Still waiting on that clip from you know who you are, and we'll try and get a video out pretty soon. But I will leave it there, guys. Have a good evening and take care.